Boker Tov, good morning. Another lovely May morning after a beautiful day yesterday. Hopefully it's another good one today. Hope it was a good one for you yesterday, or that if it was challenging, that you had the help and support you needed. Boker Tov, good morning. Almost ready for another good day together. Wonderful to see people saying hello this morning. Hello to all, and wishing everybody strength and perspective and blessing on this particular Thursday morning. Boker Tov, and good morning to all from Temple Sinai. It's a pleasure to be here again this morning on our daily Sinai Streams offering for this opportunity to connect, to reflect, and to remember. And so as we wake up this morning, I'm just going to continue sharing in the prayers, the morning waking up kind of prayers that we've been adding to our service in the last number of days. And please do join with me both in this blessing that talks about the miracle of our bodies working, and those moments where we go, wow, something works, or even better, something works that hasn't worked in the past. Let's share that wonder as we join in these words. Blessed eternal God, creator of the universe, you have fashioned our bodies with wisdom, creating within us a finely balanced network. To stand before you in prayer is itself a fragile miracle. Eternal God, we praise you as the healer of body and spirit. And to body and spirit, let's add the wonder of the mind as we join in our blessing for Torah study that commands us both to learn something new today and to pay that knowledge forward, to share it with others. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah v'harevna Adonai Eloheinu et divrei Toratcha b'finu v'fi amcha beit Yisrael v'niya anachnu v'tze'etzaenu v'tze'etza'ei amcha beit Yisrael kulanu yodei shemecha v'lomdei Toratecha lishma Baruch atah Adonai hamlamed Torah le'amo Yisrael. And now we turn to words that are among the most significant and powerful of the words in our Torah, the words that affirm a unity in the divine, a connection among all, and that links, as we'll see this morning, we look at our parasha, not only all of us in the present, but past and future as well. Let's join together in our morning Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed, Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, B'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha, Ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, Asher Anochi Metzavcha Hayom al levavecha, V'shinantam levanecha V'dibarta bam, V'shivtecha b'veitecha u'b'lechtecha v'derech, ובשוכבך וקומך, וגשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, Daber el bnei Yisrael ve'amarta alehem. Ve'asu lahem tzitzit al kanfei vigdehem l'darotam. Ve'natnu al tzitzit hakanaf patil techelet. V'haya lachem l'tzitzit uritem oto. Uzchartem et kol mitzvot Adonai va'asitem otam. Ve'lo taturu acharei lebavchem ve'acharei einechem. Asher atem zonim achareihem. Lema'an tizkaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai. V'item kedoshim leloechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim. Le'yot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem emet. As we take a moment and share our prayers this morning and get ourselves ready for a new day. That new day being Thursday, it is a Torah reading day, a time where we look at and see what the cycle of our readings has to teach us, to tell us, to offer us. And again, on this particular Thursday, I have to pause and share with you the Haftarah for the first of our two parshiot, the first of our two Torah portions for this week, from Parashat Bahar. Right, this week we have the combined Torah portion of Bahar and Bechukotai, the last two portions in the short and significant book of Vayikra, the book of Leviticus. And as I was mentioning on Monday, the rules of the sabbatical year and the Jubilee year are taught in Parashat Bahar. It teaches us that we all have a kind of security, that the intention in ancient times was a land-based security, and where every 50 years, everybody got a chance to restart, to reset. A reminder that all that we have in this world is lent to us. And those ideas that we need to find the gratitude in what we have and accept so much in our life as a gift, not merely as something that, at least in part, we earn. Those ideas are nice ideas, but how do we actually experience them? Especially the repeated statement, Kiyamu Chachicha, when when another person, a family member, a member of the Jewish family, a member of the human family, falls on rough times, it says, here is how you need to step in, right? And provide for them and take them in. And the idea of buying land and selling land in those days is not just about the land, it's about the use of it and about security. And the Haftarah for Parashat Bahar really gives us a link to that that is just so powerful and so important, it seems to me, especially in the times that we're living now. It comes from chapter 32 of the book of Jeremiah. And in that book, the Babylonians have already come to lay siege, and eventually they will, a number of years later, about 10 years later, destroy the city of Jerusalem and exile the Jews from their land for the first time. And Jeremiah, the prophet living at that time, has been thrown in prison by the king for his unpopular opinions, by affirming what is to happen and urging people to learn a lesson from it. Now, Jeremiah is well known at crying out against power and crying out against evil and against what people have, what people often give into. And yet, here in this set from chapter 32 of the book of Jeremiah, Jeremiah, instead of shouting or crying, teaches us about hope. Jeremiah is, in fact, in the prison, as you can see in verse 8, and his cousin comes to him, who is in straits during this time, and says, "Buy my land in Anatot," the village he was from, "for you are next in succession to redeem it by purpose, not redeem it by purchase." Now think about this. Jeremiah himself is in prison. He has himself declared that the Babylonians, that the storm is coming, that in his lifetime, that he will not see the better times that are ahead. And Hanamel, his cousin, comes to him and says, buy the land that none of us will have access to. He sees this, and just as the Eternal had said in verse 8, his cousin came to him in prison and said, please buy my land in the territory of Benjamin, for the right of succession is yours. And so Jeremiah knew this was a sacred thing. And so what did he do? In prison, he bought the land in Anatot from his cousin who needed the money. He weighed out the money. It even says the amount. And they wrote a deed, and he gave it to his scribe in verse 12, Baruch. And in the presence, he charged Baruch. Look at these verses 14 and 15. Thus says the Eternal of Hosts, the God of Israel, take these documents, this deed of purchase, part of which was sealed and part of which was revealed. It's the way in which documents were written in that time, and put them into an earthen jar like the Dead Sea Scrolls, so that they may last a long time. For thus says the Eternal, houses, fields, vineyards shall again be purchased in this land. There's Jeremiah in prison with his cousin in need, and he wants him to make what looks like a terrible investment. He's going to buy the land just as the Babylonians are about to take everything, at least for a time, away from our people. But as you can see, Jeremiah doesn't buy land. He buys hope. He says that here is what my responsibility is, even as I see a storm around us, even as I see a storm coming, it's mine to say, I see the blessing coming as well. That we need to continue to invest in life and in goodness and in hope. We need to continue, even when it seems most difficult or most bleak, to buy in, knowing that there is both the part that we see and the part that is sealed in the world around us. And that at that time, at a time like this, where our focus is so much on what is missing, where those who are going through loss and difficulty and pain and illness are without so much, that at this time especially, we need to have at least a piece of the courage of Jeremiah. We have to be able to look around us and to demonstrate to others that we're willing to buy in to life. Wow, all we need are some moments that remind us that others have that courage, and we can be the moments, especially when we see our world, our days anew. We can be the one who shows those around us what hope is, and that whatever the future holds, we will make it better together. That's what Jeremiah demonstrates in the Haftarah that goes with the first portion of this week, one that is less often read, but that we so need to read on a day, a moment like today. So many of us need help and support and hope, and so many of us can offer it to others. And so we turn now to our prayer for those in need of strength and healing. For those who need our demonstration of hope, our words of hope, our acts of hope and prayer, and those who also need healing and support, both those faced with illness and loss, and those who stand on the front lines. And so for all of them, we turn to these words of refuah. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka le'av Rachel hu yirapeh et kol makotenu. Yiratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu lahachal imam u'larapotam yishlach lanu mehera refuah shlema v'ateret shalom v'nomar Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless and heal all who suffer. May it be the divine will to provide healing, strength, reveal to us the holiness of life, the wholeness of shalom, and together we say, Amen. And so now as we reflect, it is also time to remember. And so we pause now to remember those who died in the period of Shloshim, in the last 30 days, in recent days and weeks, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. During the period of Shloshim, we extend our condolences to the families of Hannah Glatter, Ruth Kelman, Marcia Mason, Pauline Milrad, Oved Ben-Ari, Andrew Kosman, Paula Rich, Susie Mateveda, and we remember all victims of violence and terror, including the 22 victims of the mass shooting in Nova Scotia, and including Amit Ben Yigal. On your site, on the anniversaries of their deaths on this 20th day of the month of Iyar, the 14th of May in this year, we remember Harvey Albert, Cantor David Berkovich, Samuel Bromberg, Neil Kendall, Sally Shapiro. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be a blessing to us, including the memories of all those who are strongly with us this morning, as together we turn to words sanctified by memory, words glorified by hope in the Kaddish Yatom. It gadal v'it kadash shemei rabba, ve'alma divarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chaye echon v'yom echon, v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehe shmei rabba mevarach le'alam u'lamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shemei de kudisha b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran ve'alma v'imru, amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom v'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and bring comfort and strength to all who remember. And together we say, amen. A contribution has been made this morning by Richard Albert to the Minyan Fund, observing and honoring the Yortzeit for Harvey Albert. May this be a wonderful and sweet, a pleasant and a hopeful day. Make it a good one. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Boker Tov.